Alright folks, welcome to this exciting video where you once again join me in the wild landscape of Scotland. Look at this rare phenomenon right here around the sun. Look at this circle, right? You can see it. And that's not an optical illusion caused by the camera. This is actually visible to the eye. And it's a crazy thing in the sky. Now the sun's come out behind that cloud. I can hardly see. That's a crazy intro to a video, folks. I looked up and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It must be caused from the clouds in the atmosphere. Obviously to the human eye, I can't look up now because the sun's so bright. But there's a crazy phenomenon going on with that circle around the sun. It's almost like eerie. It's almost like spooky seeing that. It's like there's an even bigger planet behind the sun. It's a madness, folks. This is crazy. I was literally just thinking about going for a walk. I've kind of come up the back of Glen Prosen. It's the same day from the last episode. And I'm on the Glen Prosen road. I've come up through the wee village of Dykehead. And this is an interesting forest at this side because it got blown down, and a couple of years ago we had Storm Arwen and this got clear felled. But there's actually a phone mast on top of there, and I've never walked to the top of that hill right there. And I think you get such an incredible view looking over like the Strathmore Valley on just crazy distances. So I'm thinking it could be a cool wee adventure to walk up that hill. But literally, yeah, that was a crazy phenomenon. You can see it again there. It's just mad. Like, I'm out all the time and I often look up at the sky or the clouds, and sometimes I've seen some rare stuff, but there is one of them. It's the craziest of things on this channel, folks. It goes from abandoned houses, crazy World War II places, to the wildness of planet Earth itself and its atmosphere. Right folks, I've now put on my other hats. The sun was just shining. As soon as I put this hat on, the sun went behind that big cloud. But I can see there's actual birds of prey up here and they're all like fighting and scrambling around. I'll just hit a watch that I didn't actually get attacked. Sometimes birds of prey like that can actually defend on an open hill like this. They can see somebody coming from a distance, and if they've got a nest in a certain area, they can come down and dive bomb you when you're walking. Most often I should say, when I come here, I walk up to like early monument and areas like that. So it's cool on today's adventure to come this secondary route. I do apologise for any wind in the audio at this stage, but it's some crazy like windy conditions. At this time of year I'm limited often as to where I can go. I'll try and get some of these birds of prey on camera. See if they start attacking me here, folks. We'll get it on video for sure. Another thing at this time of year, it's like I just felt like a spider web there, and sometimes you get those wee spiders that float through the air on their web and they just land on you. You can't do anything about it. Yeah, that's a massive bird of prey. I'm thinking from the shape of its wings and the way it's flying, it's not a buzzard. A buzzard's one of the most common birds of prey around here in this area of Scotland. And then often now another really common type of bird is like the red kite. The red kite's even bigger than a buzzard, and it's got like a tail like an arrow fin. Yeah, I'm seeing it here. Look, this buzzard's way to land there. Yeah, there's like 5 buzzards or something circling this hill right now, potentially hunting. I'm not sure what the best route here is to go. There's 2 paths. Looks like I'm thinking I'll go this one. This one looks like it's more towards the top of the hill. Wow, this view is going to be incredible, folks. Everything's so luscious and green at this time of year. Just check that out for a scene, folks. Once again, this is a video postcard of Scotland, and I just love exploring places that I've never been before, and this is a new path for me, and you just never know what's round the corner. Sometimes you find the coolest abandoned places on a spontaneous adventure. Little tracks like this were just newly put onto this hill, obviously for when they were clearing all these trees, this hill was just devastated. And same with the far hill here where Airlie Monument stands, overlooking the Angus Glens. Built in memory of one of the old Earls of Airlie back in the day, who fought in 4 wars and sadly lost his life in one. Check it out, folks, now we can see the little village of Dyke Head down in the distance, and now we're overlooking the Strathmore Valley. The view is so incredible from here, folks. I can't exaggerate to you how it looks. Once again, it's an almost Lord of the Rings movie set landscape. It's just so incredible to see. The rolling green hills and fields. Sometimes up in the glens here, the crops are a wee bit further behind than some of the lower lying lands. That's how there's probably so many green fields still on display. And it's just mad often looking down over a valley like this. That's sometimes where I would spot like some abandoned history or old abandoned buildings or whatever. When you're looking down like that, you get an excellent view of the world. And you can just see all the wee farms dotted across the land. And that's the places which carved this landscape from being a wilderness to being the rich agricultural land of the Angus Glens. And it was built on all these little individual crofts and farms. Sometimes each croft would only have 1 or 2 little fields and just a few animals just to support the family that ran the croft. And then as the years went on, sometimes farmers and that would buy their neighbouring crofts, and then over the years each farm got bigger and bigger as they all kept buying each other's crofts. So nowadays you just get quite big farms and they're further apart, because modern farms, you need more land than back at those ancient times. The view here is just amazing, and there's slightly less wind. I think it's because I'm directly behind the hill now to where I was, and I can see way in the distance there must be some sort of crazy event on there. I believe that's maybe Auchleashy, and I think it's maybe like an equestrian event, judging from where I'm seeing it on the land there. And I just love looking way in the distance over Kinpurney Hill and then over the back hills there at Dundee, and then you can just see so far way up the coast as far as Montrose. And sometimes on my adventures I'm way up at that neck of the woods. That's the cool thing with like counties like Angus. There's just every type of terrain that you can think of in one place. You can go from the highest of mountains and craziest wild landscapes all the way down to the beauty of the coast, the white beaches or the rocky cliffs. It's just got such a fine mix of adventure all in one place. And that's how on this channel I just love going for adventures to all these different places. Sometimes on a day like today I just love getting out and just going full send up a hill, and it's often amazing what you find. Sometimes you just get like a wee house or a wee whatever. It's amazing just the variation of things that's been on the land over the years, the little stories of the history. And I believe this whole area here has been replanted, so just think in a few years this will once again be a grand forest. Look at this, I think they're foxgloves, but they're fairly spread around the land here in Scotland at this time of year. Check out that, folks, for a crazy scene of Scotland right there. Once again on the channel this week, and it's just mad. So I'm thinking about going on another adventure after this one, folks, and that means we'll have an extra video this week. And I do enjoy trying to put as many videos on every week as I can. Just new adventures, seeing some fresh places, or just incredible bits of wilderness at a certain time of the year. Look, I can see the phone mast up there, and I've pretty much walked right around this hill. I was thinking the road was pretty much going to go up to the highest point on the hill there, but so far. I must be on like some sort of ring road around the edge, but I've just loved seeing the different landscape as I go around the hill here. It's just changing. Instead of seeing in the far distance all the local little towns and stuff, over this side it's more of the wild glen hilly landscape, and it looks like there's been a lot more grass and stuff getting cut over this side, which is different because this side it's more crops like barley and wheat, and that's just the nature of the fields. Sometimes these ones at this side, they're too hilly and too stony to grow any proper crops, so it's mostly just like livestock and grass, cutting the silage, cutting the hay. So another animal that does crop up from time to time on my adventures is the Scottish adder. And sometimes on a sunny day you get them, if you're on a forest track or a track like this, you often get them lying out in the sun. Sometimes they're coiled up in like a little ball, other times you see them straight out, like wiggling about. Whoa! A bee just flew into my head, like that was crazy. That's not the first time today in this adventure, like the animals have pretty much flown straight into me. Wow, this view in front of me has just opened up and it's something beautiful, folks. Check this out. It's mad because like the landscape's changing. It maybe looks similar on the video, but as you're really walking around here, it's just different altogether. This side now, we're around looking at the high, massive hills. Potentially these hills further up round the back of here is where I was when I was at Loch Wirral. In one of the last adventures this week, I was up at Loch Wirral. It's so cool. You can actually see we've got some cows and stuff grazing down here. I think it's excellent grazing lands for the cows because the grass up here is so rich and so grouthy, as they say around here. So on the far hill here I can once again see the Grand Airlie Monument standing. Often on a day like today though, at the weekend, it's just super busy up there because it's a popular like hilltop walk for people to go up and look at the monument. Sometimes on my adventures though, I love going to these places which are more barren and desolate, and you pretty much hardly see anybody around. I have been keeping my eyes peeled for any abandoned historical wonders, but sometimes on adventures you just don't find anything. That's what it's all about. But at least now I know there's nothing there to be found. Whereas before I always wondered like what was up this hill or how good the view was. And it's actually a nice hill for a walk. Probably if you were walking dogs or whatever, this would be a perfect hill to do a circuit around. Yeah, these cows are all looking over inquisitively. I think it's because they'll be able to hear me obviously over here vlogging to the camera. They probably didn't see many people up here apart from the farmer. Yeah, there's a gate down here, but it's a different gate to what I came in. And I'm not even sure where I am right now. Check it out, folks, it looks like this path leads back up the hill. I've just come down this way, but I'm thinking I'm going to go through this gate and try and go down that other track. It looks like it takes me towards the... Oh, I nearly went over my ankle, folks. It takes me towards the Captain Scott Memorial, which is at the roadside of Prosen. So areas like this are so special to explore because you just come around the corner and next thing it's like you're just looking at the finest painting or postcard that you've ever seen. Every angle is just such a beautiful scene. So down at Dundee there's a massive old boat called the Discovery, and it was actually sailed to the Antarctic by Captain Scott, who was a famous like explorer back in the day, and there's a monument here which is actually dedicated to that trip that they took to the South Pole. And the reason it's here is actually because Captain Scott and his friend, they actually trained in this area for their adventure. They did some like wild landscape and like winter training and stuff like that in this area, because his friend actually lived in the house along the road, and that was the reason they were up here, and they planned the adventure from the house along the road. And it's cool that that little story is connected with this area here. Look at this, we've got some poppies and stuff growing on this little embankment here. A little bit of summertime colour out here, folks. But yeah, let's check it out. I can't mind what his friend's name was. The gentleman that lived here. Yeah, Robert Falcon Scott and Edward Adrian Wilson. And that was the gentleman. They went to the South Pole. You can see it here. And it's just incredible. Look, they set off from New Zealand. Oh, it says there, route of Terra Nova. But yeah, what a cool statue. 1912. Captain Robert Scott, Dr. Edward Wilson. And you can just imagine them planning their crazy adventure from these lands, and you can just imagine why they had that exploring like character within them. It's because they were used to exploring places like this, and you can see how wild and great they are. They must have always just wondered like what was round the corner, or what was in these places on planet Earth that nobody had been to. It's so much better now. I'm walking inside these, like inside this forest kind of area. It's so much calmer, so much more peaceful, and there's no wind at all. I can just feel the heat from the sun. I just love it, folks. Even though I didn't find any crazy like abandoned history, it's often fun just to show people, like some people can't even climb a hill like that, but they can watch this video and just see how great the view is. And it's also cool that I can share these videos with people all over the world, show them a small corner of Scotland, places that's hardly seen, hardly explored, even by locals around here. Look, there's been a track or whatever cut out along the side of here for some reason. Maybe some gamekeepers' activities. So I've come up the hill now from that main road that I was just on. It's a proper steep, almost cliff-like steep hill here. And there's an interesting point in the land here. Now they've clear felled the trees, they've come as far as this point, and this is actually marked on the really old maps as a quarry. So you can see how this cut out in the land on this level bit. They've reinstated the road, and this is actually where the original old quarry road used to go down the hill to the main road. And I was just thinking, this must have been the sort of thing they were quarrying back in the day. Check it out. Must have been this type of stone. Because look, it's like that rough, almost shale-like stuff. Look at that. If you kick it, it would just crumble. But that's the similar sort of rock that you can see. That's what these hills will be made of in this area. It's almost a shale-like rock. And look, just check the rock out there. It's unusual. And it's so fragile. It's like slate almost. It's like you could just pull it out in sections. Interesting to see though, folks, and it's cool to tell the story of this little quarry and how like roads and stuff may have been made with the stone out of this quarry at a certain time. And last time I was here, it was in the middle of the thick forest and you could hardly even see it, and there was just a slight trace of the original road. Whereas now you can see that all this hardcore's been dumped here, probably levelled down from this back wall to create this road for the forestry equipment and machines. And look how it just drops off steep here down. That's the road where I was walking a minute ago. And there's the hill at the far side that we just went around. This has been a crazy little adventure. I've walked pretty far this weekend overall. I've been so many places like Loch Whirl and stuff. It's just been cool. Like sometimes my adventures take me all over the place, like, and it's just mad the variation of landscapes that I have to navigate. But look, you can just see the route of the old road's more clear now down to that corner. Right folks, that's me just about back at my car, and this is the spot where I started the video and where we saw that incredible rainbow kind of around the sun. It's maybe called a sunbow. Anyway, I'm ending this one here folks. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll be back very soon with the next one, wherever I end up going.